I need to speak with that gentleman again. I have to really learn you today. If you don't know what the hell you're talking about, they need to have some new people at the door, including the cops. What's going on, man? You stopping me? You stopping me from taking care of legal and lawful business right now.
Sergeant is on his way, okay? Sergeant is on his way.
How are you a cop and you don't know what you're talking about?
No, sir, we can't do that in this building.
You stopping somebody from taking care of legal and lawful business. If you don't know what something is, you shouldn't speak on it. You shouldn't stop somebody from proceeding to do their business. You're gonna have to learn today. You can't stop this. It's illegal. Legal and lawful business is being taken care of in this building, sir. But you don't know what you're talking about, sir. This thing right here, this specific item, has been determined by judges in the NYPD to be legal and lawful. So if you don't know what it is,
you know our rules and regulations? No. You don't understand our rules and regulations.
Sir,
I'm following.
if you're telling me this is allowed to come in because it's legal and lawful, then that also means I'll be able to check that.
We have contacted a sergeant.
Yeah, but you're stopping me. You're holding me up.
Because you can't enter the building with those items. That's what I'm trying to
But
tell
I
you.
can.
That's what you say. Sergeant, this gentleman here has a knife. He says he's...
A legal knife in New York. A fixed blade knife in New York.
Let the sergeant make that determination.
But if
right
you're
now.
holding me up.
Right, because you can't.
Okay, so let's, Sergeant, is this legal?
Okay.
Why am I being held up?
It looks like.
This isn't brass knuckles.
The inches doesn't look that big. So we keep to let you in, we just gotta hold it down here. All right?
Are you paying attention so I don't gotta go through this every single time I'm coming in here to take care of business? It's ridiculous. No, you're a buffoon, bro. Holding me up. I'm being held up from taking care of what I gotta take care
I'm
of.
trying to help you. But
You're not helping me. Every time I gotta go through this nonsense, I'm taking care of business. Every single time with these people.
Okay,
It's becoming harassment.
okay.
If I know how are the people manning the door, how does a cop not know what it is?
No, I believe that the way this is, it could be illegal because of the curve. But I'm
Sir,
using my discretion.
it's a 3-inch blade,
Well, that's
fixed
why I'm
blade.
using my discretion as it being a 3-inch blade that we're going to.
They didn't find it. I come to the door, I give it to them
Okay. So that's
every
what we're
single
gonna do.
time.
All right, so we just need your name, we're gonna put it down here. We're gonna hold it for you, okay?
Buffoons, bro. Every single time.
What's your name?
David Butler.
David Butler.
You learned something today, bro? You wanna apologize for holding me up? Jackasses.
Don't get, I got a problem with that. Don't let you say so. Don't let you say so. I take my orders to go.
I got you. I'm gonna do more research.
Do we have a piece of ID, please?
And now I gotta give these people who harass me my ID. I gotta let these people know who I am. What's your name?
Sergeant Morris.
No, this gentleman here. What's your name, sir?
Give your name.
My name is Roberts.
Robinson, okay. Please stop harassing me every single time I come here, Robinson. So every single time with you.
Sorry, you said
They do.
That may be, but I just want to give you, that's fine, I'm just want to use my discretion, I can't say whether it is or not, but I'm using my discretion as far as them taking it, okay? So they're just doing their job, they believe it's illegal, they're trying to stop somebody from coming in with, what is a letter, okay? So thank you for your patience, I'm sorry if you had any issues coming in, all right?
Where's my ID?
Alright, I'll put it back.
Take your headset off.
Alright, I'll put it back. If you have change, just put everything in here. All right, step back. Set your arms up. Okay, here you go. Sorry for waiting.
You have anything else on you that's metal?
The notice of claim? Yeah? I just need the form. Can I just get a 2 personal notice of claims and 2 property?
Two personal injury claims and 2 property damage claims.
Thank you, I appreciate it. That's simple. That's simple. That's all I need. All I need. Always some bullshit. Every single time with these people. And then now I'm late. I'm late for the protest, bro. These people, bro, are sick people. Sick people. I'm gonna run over to a protest real quick before I even get it. Goofballs, bro. Goofballs in this building. It's fucking clown, bro. Going to City Hall, guys. There's a protest taking place there. I was supposed to start a live dedicated to that, but unfortunately they made me go live. Every single time I go to that building, guys, which is like I have to go there in order to move forward with any lawsuits or anything against the city, every single time that guy harasses me. Robertson. Every single time. Like, I don't know if behind that desk they got my picture. Give this guy a hard time every time he comes. Probably missing the whole goddamn thing right now. Slowed me up, bro. I wonder how much I missed. It'll be our first time in City Hall. I don't know why those idiots just slowed me up. What time is it? 11:06. Messed up my whole thing. City Hall, Manhattan, New York City, guys. Try to get everything in order so I could be out of here. In and out. You can go.
Just raise your hand, I'll give you a watch. Thank you.
Black and brown New Yorkers are disproportionately targeted, reinforcing a cycle of racialized policing in this country. And make no mistake, if the SRG was merely rebranded or repurposed instead of outright abolished, the results would be the same. Continued violence, continued discrimination, and continued suppression. That's why we're not just calling for limits on the SRG's involvement in protests, but for its complete disbandment. When New Yorkers have a right to protest without fear of police violence. New Yorkers do have a right to protest without fear of police violence. We will not be silenced, we will not be intimidated, and we will continue to organize until our right to peacefully assemble is protected. The City Council must act now to uphold our First Amendment rights, end the era of violent protest suppression, and disband the SRG once and for all.
We're not talking about limiting the rights of the use of the SRG. We are talking about total annihilation. That's right. Abolition. That's right. Get them out of here. Next, I want to bring up the supervising attorney for the Council on American Islamic Relations. I'd like to introduce, I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher the name, I still got my meat cleaver, Lamia Agrawala.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak to all. My name is Lamia Agrawala, and I'm a supervising attorney with the Council on American Islamic Relations, New York. I'm here today because for far too long, the NYPD and SRG has been brutalizing New Yorkers who take to the streets to call out injustice and demand better from those who claim to represent us. In the last year alone, at protests calling for justice in Palestine, SRG officers have put our clients in chokeholds, picked them up and thrown them to the ground, punched them repeatedly in the face, left them with concussions, nerve damage, lasting physical injuries, and emotional trauma.
Right.
SRG officers have ripped off our clients' hijabs and mocked them as they did so. They have choked our clients by pulling their hijabs. They tore keffiyehs from our clients and never returned them. And they have pushed our clients into each other to the point where people are fighting for their lives to not be trampled on. While we've taken to the courts to hold the SRG accountable for its abuses, New Yorkers should not have to suffer violence before seeking accountability. We need measures that actually keep New Yorkers safe, and that's why the CURB Act is so crucial, not just to hold NYPD officers accountable, but to continue to fight for true public safety in New York. We call on every single council member to support the Curb Act and give us justice now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for being with us. Thank you, Lamia, for those words of support. Appreciate you. I'm so glad I didn't butcher her name. When protest rights are under attack, fight for justice, pass the Curb Act.
Protest rights are under attack. Fight for justice. Pass the Curb Act. Protest rights are under attack. Fight for justice. Pass the Curb Act.
Protest rights are
Under attack. Fight for justice. Pass the Curb Act.
Introducing now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the New York Civil Liberties Union, Ms. Donna Lieberman.
Hey, hey!
Ho ho! The SRG has got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! The SRG has got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! The SRG has got to go. Hey hey!
Oh! You got this. When you've got a chant, you've got a movement. The NYCLU calls on the City Council to pass the Curb Act, to finally put an end to the NYPD's practices that treat political protest as a crime. It's time to put the SRG out of business of policing protests with their hyper-aggressive, violent tactics that chill, intimidate, and suppress the right to free speech. The Curb Act will remove the SRG from protest policing and would ban their most harmful tactics, not just as long as the SRG is in existence, but forever. And those tactics that must be banned immediately are: we need to ban kettling.
Yes!
We need to ban the use of bicycles as physical instruments to push back against and hurt protesters.
Yes!
We need to ban the use of tear gas.
Yes!
And we need to ban the indiscriminate use of pepper spray as crowd control.
Yes!
We need to ban the use of any long-range acoustic device or any similar device that emits sounds over 90 decibels.
Yes!
These are the tools of the SRG, and they all need to be banned, and they need to be banned now.
Yes!
Or yesterday. You know, New Yorkers deserve better than a violent police force with a bloated budget hell-bent on violating our right to protest. We deserve better than a police force that treats peaceful protest as terrorism.
That ain't right.
Not just as a crime, but as terrorism.
That's right.
And has a history of constitutional rights violations, especially when we protest for racial justice. It's time for New York to pass the Curb Act because, hey ho, hey hey, ho ho, the
SRG has got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! The SRG has got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! The SRG has got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! The SRG has got to go.
Thank you so much, Donna. Words of support for the Curb Act. I'm going to call on next the community organizer, artist, and fourth-generation New Yorker, Jesse Spellman.
My name is Jessie. My pronouns are she, her, and we, ours. Our Creator and our Constitution grant us the power to speak our mind freely and to protest peacefully that with which we do not agree. We see how the SRG and the NYPD pop up on our streets to abuse our community. For years, We've made our case, assembling by the thousands with grace. As the SRG brutalizes us with mace, breaking our bones, our bodies, our face. New York is for everyone. New Yorkers demand it. Our city council must act. We can no longer stand it. With needless police violence, intimidation, and pain, our humanity is threatened when we have so much to gain. We will pass the Curb Act in 2025. And continue to build what makes New York thrive. Don't you think it's a pity to hear children say, why is there no budget for pre-K? No budget for libraries, no budget for books, no budget for parks. They just took and they took. With billions in reserves and billions for cops, our children are begging us, when does it stop? More libraries, more parks, more schools, more art, less weapons, less harm. Use your head and your heart. We're building a better and stronger city for all. City council members, heed our call. Invest in our parks, our libraries, our schools. Let common sense and love be our strongest tools. Pass the Curb Act, minimize harm, and disband the SRG. It's our right to protest and speak freely. Our parks, our schools, our libraries, our pools, our gardens, and our streets. Without justice, there cannot be peace. The future is bright. Think what we can do. And city council members, remember, history has its eyes on you.
Jesse came with some nice lines. See, now even I can rhyme. I want to introduce, without further ado, my gang of two. Another rhyme. I'd like to bring up Olive Greenberg and Rabbi Abby Stein to the church.
Hello everyone, my name is Olivia. I go by Olive for friends and comrades. Today I'm speaking as a member of Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, JFREJ, and as a Jewish staff member of Columbia University. I want to begin by honoring our students who have been putting their bodies and futures on the line to demand financial transparency, divestment from the Israeli war machine, and that Barnard reinstate the 3 students unjustly expelled without due process. Last April, I bore witness to hundreds of NYPD officers, including the Strategic Response Group, descending on Columbia's campus and assaulting and arresting our students. It was a scale of state violence I had never experienced before, and it was a massive wake-up call. In the months leading up to the NYPD raid, Columbia and conservative politicians committed to an insidious tactic to support speech in support of Palestine. That is to conflate anti-Zionism and to conflate criticism of Israel's genocide in Gaza with anti-Semitism. By the time the SRG arrived on campus, Columbia, Mayor Adams, and the NYPD had rhetorically transformed our students into rioters and outside agitators. 2 things became clear to me that day. First, I realized I have a moral imperative to use my Jewish voice to reject the exploitation of anti-Semitism and to fight for a just and safe and inclusive community safety. Soon after I joined JFREJ with the goal of curbing the NYPD's power. Second, I understood how powerful our students' speech really is and how vital it is that we protect it. The Gaza Solidarity Encampment at Columbia inspired a nationwide international movement of students holding their universities accountable. Speech is our power. Speech is the people's power. I stand on behalf of JFREJ because Columbia and Adams and the Trump administration continue to exploit our Jewish identities, to suppress free speech, and use state violence against our communities. I am here to assert that Jewish safety is not the silencing of dissent.
That's right.
Jewish safety is not scapegoating comrades and communities for calling for collective liberation. And Jewish safety is not repeatedly calling in the SRG to brutalize and traumatize our students because they had the courage to speak up against injustice. Our collective safety is woven into the bravery of our students, into the solidarity of our movements, and crucially, into the freedom of our speech. I call on each and every one of our city council members to pass the CURB Act, and I thank you for this opportunity to speak. Disclose, divest, defend academic freedom, free Mahmoud Khalil, and free Palestine.
Thank you, Olive. My name is Abby Stein. I am a rabbi in Brooklyn, and I'm a member of Truth for Racial and Economic Justice for close to a decade now. I want to add, let's say, 3 things to the beautiful things and everything that you have said. First and foremost, over last summer, the spring semester of last year, as part of Rabbis for Ceasefire, I spent some time at the Columbia encampment, as well as a former Columbia student myself. And one of the things that still sits with me, of the lie, that everything that has been going on, the militarization of the Columbia campus, was supposedly to keep students safe, is I was during a Saturday night to lead an end of Shabbat service, and we had to do it at the gates of campus because some of our Jewish students, who are literally part of a Jewish co-op on campus, were banned from entering campus for the sake of Jewish safety. Because of Jewish safety, you put literal Jewish students in danger. It has never been about Jewish safety. I have had the disprivilege of watching SRG at so many protests, and there has never been a time where even me, as this person who looks like the whitest person you're ever gonna meet, ever felt safer with them. And I can only imagine how people of color feel with them around. I want to share 2 quick teachings because I'm a rabbi and that's all I know to do, kind of. But there's a teaching in the Talmud, in the Jerusalem Talmud, that I was teaching yesterday to my community, where 2 rabbis show up in a town and they're asking, where are the watchers of the town? Where do people keep the town safety? And the town goes and brings the security guards, the police officers. And the rabbis turn around and say, those are not the watchers of the town, they are the destroyers of this town. The watchers are the teachers, the people who take care of kids. Those are the people who watch our town. We keep talking about budgeting and about how our current mayor knows one thing when it comes to the NYPD, which is defund every social service organization and give as much money as they need. So I have one simple ask: defund the SRG, use that money to fund teachers, to fund programming for children, and so on. Finally, right now it seems that the mayor, people in our state government, city government, and federal government are bending over backwards to claim that they are harming people of color, specifically Palestine solidarity activists, in the name of Jewish safety, when they are literally putting us in danger with those actions. But I have one request: if you want to do something nice for us, in 48 hours we start a holiday called Purim. One of the traditions is to give gifts on that holiday. So if you want to help our Jewish community, I have a request for this holiday of giving gifts. Give me a gift and pass the CURB Act. If you care about Jewish safety, pass the CURB Act, because our safety is intertwined with the solidarity of every group in New York City and of all of our people standing here and those who are not here. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank Oliver and Abby for those serious words. Serious speech right here. I want to practice a facilitative flex right here, realizing that we don't have too much time. I'm going to call up a dear friend of mine, seen with all the actions, eloquent speaker. You better be paying attention when I say his name. I'd like to welcome up NYCC's best, Mr. Jason.
I'm not going to talk for long. Somebody just did this and I liked it. Hey, hey, ho, ho. SRG has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The SRG has got to go. But I have one question. Donovan, who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
And the SRG does not keep us safe. You've heard for an hour from speakers over and over and over again talking about how they are not safe in the presence of the SRG. I want to just talk about one thing. There are 3 words: strategic response group. They're a group. They're responding. But what is strategic about what they are doing, right? It seems like there's nothing strategic, but I'll tell you there is something strategic. The color and the economic backgrounds of the people that they're responding to. That's what the SRG is responding to. That's what they exist for. You would think they exist to stop terrorism. You would think they would exist to stop domestic terrorism, right? No, they exist to stop us from expressing our free will, from our constitutional rights and our will. So that's all I really wanted to say here. Thank you, John. And I also wanted to say thank you to Councilmember Jose for putting this forth, because not a lot of council members are thinking of how we are brutalized by not just the regular NYPD, but a specific force who pepper sprays us and pepper sprays themselves when they're trying to stop it. So that's all I want to say. Thank y'all all. It's hot out here. Let's go past the curb back.
Yeah. Want to correct Mr. Ennis? He said SRG's strategic response group. SRG's strategic response gang.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Without further ado, I know the day's getting long, and I'd like to call up my friend from Latino Justice, Mr. Robert Willis.
My name is Robert Willis. I'm here on behalf of Latino Justice. And Latino Justice is calling upon the City Council to pass the CURB Act, because we need to restore New York to its glorious history of leading the world in peaceful protest. New York has a history of being on the forefront of fighting against injustice, fighting against demilitarizing cities. And there's a lot of work to be done. We know the era we're about to enter. We know the work that is going to be at hand. We don't need the SRG unit being held and dangled as a weapon against peaceful protests. The SRG has turned into a unit that is there to intimidate, to oppose peaceful protests, and to agitate and add more harm and stir up more violence than it is there to stop. When it was given its charter, when the City Council passed it, we were told it would be in response to civil unrest. It would be in response to domestic terrorism, or just terrorism in general. Now the SRG is being deployed in communities throughout the city as a tactic to intimidate, harass, not only people of color, black and brown individuals, but even white New Yorkers come under tyranny of this SRG unit. So Latino Justice would like the City Council to be forward thinking, recognizing what is about to happen this summer, next summer. People will be taken to the streets. People will fight against what is coming down, and we cannot have the SRG standing as a threatening force to try to stop us from being the leaders of peaceful protest and the leaders of justice throughout the world. New York City has a history of it. We were that before the SRG was even designed, before it was even conjured up. There was peaceful protests in New York, and we're asking the City Council to pass the CURB Act to restore New York to its rightful place as a leader in the movement of justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Was that a good speech in support of the CURB Act? As we round the corner to the finish line, I'd like to introduce our last speaker, our Anti-Violence Project representative, Adil Mishar.
Good morning, folks. My name is Adil Mishar, and I'm the lead organizer at the New York City Anti-Violence Project. Our organization empowers lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and HIV-affected community members and allies to end all forms of violence through operate a bilingual 24/7 hotline for our community to report incidents of violence. Over the years, we've had countless calls come in from our community members to report violence at the hands of the strategic response group at protests. From kettling to pepper spraying to straight up beating up community members, this is a violation of our First Amendment rights, and this is unacceptable. Our community members' experiences are in line with the statistics that we have. There have been 455 complaints filed to the CCRB against SRG officers between 2015 to 2021, not including many allegations made during or after the 2020 protests, as well as the Palestine protests more recently. We must do something to protect us. The SRG operates like a military unit. Why do we have military-like forces responding to our protesters in this city? The CURB Act would remove the SRG from protest response and would ban the harmful tactics that they use against protesters. The New York City Council has the power to protect New Yorkers by passing this bill and disbanding the SRG. We call on the council to use that power to protect New Yorkers today. ABP proudly endorses the CURB Act. We are honored to share spaces with organizations like Night Blue and people like Isabel who fight the good fight and do so diligently, intentionally, and consistently. In a time where civil liberties are being stripped by the current administration, it is our moral duty and responsibility to speak up and act to protect New Yorkers. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to point out that in neighborhoods like Bayside, not too far from where I live in South Jamaica, Queens, the SRG acts as a protection unit for protesters in Bayside. If they come to South Jamaica, then that's the army that's fighting against Islam protesters. So I just got one more chant that I'd like to say, and I want you to follow me this way. No more kindling, no more fear. Pass the CURB Act now and here. No more kindling, no more fear. Pass the CURB Act now and here. No more kindling, no more fear. Pass the CURB Act now and here. No more kindling, no more fear. Pass the CURB Act now and here. I want to close out by thanking all the organizations that came out today. Forgive me if I don't mention your organization, but you did with me in spirit. That's NYCC, the Arab American Association of New York, Square Liberation March, NAACC, Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, Latino Justice, the NYCLU, the Anti-Violence Project. There's so much more that is steeped in this fight of civil rights and eliminating the CURB Act, as well as the NYPD. We'll get there one day, Jay. My name is John McFarland. I'd like to give a special thanks to the multi-talented Isabel Labor and together, and we are closing out peace. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The SRG has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The SRG has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The SRG has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The SRG has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The SRG has got to go! John McFarland from Brooklyn, New York, thank you for your time. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
What's up, guys? Let me first get before I relax and let my guard down. Let me get my stuff first. It's from this low-life office. It's always with their bullshit. Robertson. Good old Robertson. I'm filing a complaint against that dude, man. Every single time. Every time. Guys, this building right here is imperative. If you ever want to file a civil suit against the city in New York, you must come to this building. You have to. You don't have a choice. So the fact that every single time I come to this building, Robertson harasses me, it's gotten to the point now that I'm gonna have to look at taking legal action against this building. yet another city agency, because it doesn't make any sense. Every single time we see, I go to the criminal court, I bring my knife, I bring my pepper spray. I go to the Supreme Court, which is right next to it. I bring my knife, I bring my pepper spray, I check it. I go, I take care of what I have to take care of. But Robertson has it in his head that every time David comes, he's gonna be annoying and harass David. So you're gonna be checked, bro. I'm not gonna allow this to keep happening. It was annoying before, now it's becoming a problem. Every single time with this, the same guy, each and every time. The actual criminal, this is only where you gotta come to submit paperwork. The actual criminal court doesn't do this shit. The Supreme Court doesn't do this. But Robertson, top flight security, feels he must do this each and every time.
Hey. Sorry. Would you step outside, take care of it? I got your item. So I was doing research on it, and it was saying because of the knuckle, it would be illegal. Or we're going to give it back to you.
It's a handle. It's not a knuckle. This knife is specifically made for New York.
What is it?
Before they even passed the law.
Called exactly, so I could do a little research on it. Because what I got so far, they were saying those would be considered like knuckle dusters.
M-Tech.
M-Tech.
You could go to their website. It's designed before New York they recently repurposed the knife laws. Before that, I bought this in 2013.
Okay.
The knife is made specifically for New York. But I had pepper spray, 2 pepper sprays as well. Where are those?
Oh, yeah, as well? Let me go see. Hey, can you guys
Just trying to say these are brass knuckles.
Sorry, I didn't know about that.
All right, but yes, sir, I'm certain I went before a court for this specific knife. It is most definitely a fixed blade.
I was trying to find more on it. They were showing a lot of the knives, which I thought it was like the curved knife, but then when you showed me the knife, there was no curve. I was like, oh, well, I've never seen that before. So it's more like a tool knife, you're saying?
It's specific, literally, it's called New York Legal M-Tech on the M-Tech website. But I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And yeah, it's
New York Legal on M-Tech.
M-Tech.
All right, I just want to give you a heads up. You may have some issues coming in with that. I'm going to do research with it.
This is the brand.
Yeah, and then I can let at least my guards know like whether or not.
Because it's every single time, sir. I literally work in the area. The Luigi trial, the Daniel Penny trial. I go in, I check the criminal court and the Supreme Court. I'm always in the area taking care of business. It's only specifically with this guy because I guess we had a bad start to meeting each other.
Okay.
But every other criminal court, Supreme Court, I never have an issue. It's only here. And I have to come here. Like, I don't want to come here. I have to come here to take care of certain things.
Okay, that's fine.
You know?
That's fine. Well, like I said, in the future, I'll come to you. I'll let you know. Hopefully, I'm here. But I'm going to try to let my team know about it. But until then, like, I'm going to try to do more research so at least everybody knows. But if we can't find anything, they're going to consider it an illegal item. Because if they're unsure, that's what they're just going to do for public safety reasons. So they may even confiscate it.
I mean, I wouldn't want to have to sue, but the only thing I guess you guys are trying to say is this is brass knuckles.
No, well,
it's a handle, sir. If I put, it's designed so it can't be taken out of my hand.
Right. That's
it's
what I
not when you see the handle where it would be knuckles would be put into here, and then you've already seen what the blade is.
Right. It's not.
It's cut. The knuckles are covered. It's to keep it from being taken out of my hand.
Right.
But
I was using my discretion on that, so
I appreciate
the
that.
supervisor may not do the same. So I just want you to be aware.
and what's your name?
Sergeant Morris.
Sergeant. All right.
But,
Thank you
I'm
for your
gonna do
time.
more research so I can at least let other supervisors know what you're saying is valid. At least we can say, hey, listen, let's review and let the guards know. Because if they feel more comfortable, they're worried about the knuckles, because anything like brass knuckles is illegal.
I know that.
That's the reason why it's a little bit of a confusion. I've never seen that before. So if we're unsure of something, we're usually just be like, sorry, you can't come in with that.